As our employer this morning, but not so much as our employer, but as one who understands what we do, because he has been where we have been. I mean, he has been where we are, and what we do, he has done it before. So we will comfortably say that he's a principal, but now the chairman, Teacher Service Commission. Chairman, karibu sana.
We are happy that you honored our invitation. Thank you for being here with us. And just very briefly, so that you know who is with us here, I'll introduce the delegates in the regions. Starting with Eastern, we have the chairperson, Eastern region. I'll just ask the chair to stand. That's Bwana Murioni from Dageni Secondary in Meru. The chairpersons in Eastern, because we have county chairs. That's Madam Rosemary from Dagoni in Baraka Nidi, the chair Baraka Nidi, and the chair Mel, Agnes from Kirigala Girls. Then we have Elizabeth in Echo Girls, a member of the governing council. She was initially in Kitui, where she was the chair Kitui, but now she came to Baraka Nidi. She's still a member of our governing council. The delegates from Tarakaniti, they are in numbers. Tarakaniti gives us numbers even here, not only in politics. Let's appreciate the delegates. We have somebody from Kitui. Anybody from Kitui? Not yet. The delegates from Meru. And we combine Tarakaniti with them. Our county Tarakaniti is combined with them. Because we do not have PCA schools in them, but we have associate members. The delegates from Meru, let's appreciate the Meru delegates. Thank you very much. Then we have the Central Region. The Central Region, our chair is
Bwana Mboro. He's not with us. He lost his mom. She's being buried tomorrow. The chairs in Central. Bwana Mode, the chair Nyeri. The delegates of Nyeri. That's another strong one, dear PRESPA. Let's appreciate Nyeri. Thank you very much. Bwana Moiroli, the chair Kiambu.
the delegates from Kiambu. Let's appreciate Kiambu. Thank you very much. We have our chair Moranga, who is also not with us because he's unwell. The delegates from Moranga. Let's appreciate Moranga. Kirinyaga, we have delegates from Kirinyaga. Thank you very much. Let's appreciate Kirinyaga. Bwana Mudau, utaniambia ile nitasahau. In Central, we are okay. Nyandara, yes. How could I forget Nyandara? Delegates from Nyandara. Sometimes they move to the neighboring, and which is okay. Nairobi, we call it Nairobi Metropolitan because we combine it with Kajiado. Our chair Nairobi is not with us, Madam Flores from Pangani. She has another meeting in Mombasa. But these are our delegates from Nairobi Metropolitan. That is Nairobi and Kajiado. Let's appreciate them. Thank you very much. Rift Valley, the great Rift Valley.
Chair, Madam Agnes, remind me the name of the school. Solai Gauss. Thank you. Let's appreciate the delegates from Rift Valley. Thank you very much. Last year we had a delegate from Coast. She was not able to come this time. Thank you very much. We have the executive members. Kindly stand. The executive members. Bwana Moriongi, the Chair Eastern. Bwana Mude, our Assistant Secretary. Bwana Getari, our Vice Chair. Madam Jendinda, our Organizing Secretary. And finally, thank you, let's appreciate them. We have Madam Esther, who is our Secretary. She has worked out. And Madam Tabitha, who is our Treasurer. They are around. Then we work under our Director, Christian Education, Reverend Lucy, who is doing a great job to bring us together. She has not fully succeeded, but this year she has really improved, because last year we were about 99. This year we are 140 something. I'm here to confirm the number, but it's over 140. We can give her a better clap. And Professor from Poya University, karibu sana. We are honored to have you with us. Thank you very much. Members, I did that very briefly because I would want us to give our speaker enough time to interact with us. And probably at the end, if you'll be kind to allow us to ask 1 or 2 questions. I'm sure when TSC is in the house, we have very many questions. But we have the person who has all the answers to these questions today. But before our many questions, he has something for us. Our chair, TSC Service Commission, Dr. Jamleck Muturi John, has been a high school teacher with over 25 years of teaching experience. He has been a principal of several high schools in Kenya. As a university lecturer, he coordinated many research programs for postgraduate programs in Kenya and abroad. He has published many peer-reviewed academic papers in journals, in addition to writing textbooks for high school students. He is a member of several academic bonds, locally and abroad. Dr. Muturi John has spearheaded several student exchange programs between Kenya and the Swedish government. He has been a Minister of Education in the Embu County government, where he initiated many educational, scientific, and technological innovations. He is the chairman for formal education in ACK in the Diocese of Embu, where he is actively involved in coordinating the education activities of the diocese. Currently, he is the chair, Teacher Service Commission. The agency manages a workforce of over 340,000 teachers in the public education institutions, regulates the teaching profession, and advises the national government on matters relating to the teaching profession. For his contribution to education, Dr. Jamleck Muturi was honored by the African Federation of Teaching Regulatory Authorities with the award of Fellowship of the African Federation of Teaching Regulating Authorities in a ceremony that was held in Accra, Ghana on 30th May 2022. That deserves a clap. In 2023, he was decorated with State Commendation of the Elder of the Burning Spear, MBS, for his distinguished contributions to his motherland. Another clap. This is the person speaking to us this morning. And sir, allow me to welcome you to speak to these members. They are PRESPA members, PRESPA is Presbyterian Principals and Schools Association, members of the PCA Church and members, principals who are working in PCA schools. They are here, ready to listen to you. Help me bring our speaker with 3 good claps. 1, 2. Nimesikia nyinyi ni wakanu. Nilikuwa nataka ile ya CBC. 1, 2, 3. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Chair. Let me take this opportunity to first of all appreciate the fact that the moderator found it wise through Reverend Lucy that I come and interact with my colleagues, my brothers and sisters in teaching profession, and more so them that are from Presbyterian schools and them that are members and adherents of Presbyterian. So, right, Reverend, I thank the moderator for that. I also want to appreciate the Vice Chancellor. I remember we were with the university the other day of prayer, and I want to encourage my brothers and sisters to join and undertake various programs that we offer because very, very important. Am I on Mbaya? Very good. I'm not campaigning, but I'm doing pro bono. I'm doing pro bono. Principals of PCA schools and those who are PCAs in other schools, the clergy who are here, chaplains who are here, my brothers and sisters, good morning. Let me bring the greetings of other commissioners and also our CEO, Madam Macharia, to all of you this morning. Have you received them? I also want to say that I went through Presbyterian school for my A-levels called Chogorian Boys. So why is the principal Chogorian Boys? Why is my principal? Sinjui hapo Reverend Rusi utasema namna gani? Chogorian Girls principal? Yeah. Good. Thank you. Girls are really defeating boys. I don't know what's happening. You can see even on the ground here. We used to call them Tima. We used to call them Tima. You know, the boy-girl kind of a language. So I'm happy that we used to go to that church, and that's why I'm right to say the church has played a very key role in shaping the Kenyan landscape in leadership. It is both an honor to me and a privilege to stand before you today to this important conference convened under the theme of excellence and faithfulness all the way. When the moderator was speaking, I was wishing that I came earlier. But the portion I got was enough dose for me. Because when we was talking of the journey Joshua went through with his people, the challenges that they faced as Israelites as they closed through Red Sea, through the wilderness, through, Jordan, and even when they landed in where? In Canaan. I believe, that's my thinking, all of us, before we get the positions we are in, we pray as individuals. Sometimes even we mobilize prayer warriors, especially if there is an interview. Sometimes we call our aunts, we call our clergy. I believe probably before you go that position, you mobilize so many people and yourself. When we get and land there, we think, yes, we have got it. And especially that first experience, when we are signing the visitors book and taking over takes place. There is a lot of excitement. But after you sit there for a few days, then you realize we have Sanbalats, we have Topias, and other guys, isn't it? And you realize it's not as easy as you may think. And that's why when the moderator was speaking, that's why I'm saying it spoke to me. Because I know when you are there, you wish that to become the chairman immediately now. And welcome, please. Our tenure is 6 years and not renewable. So even I know the date that will be stepping out. And the same door I came through is the same door. But what I'm saying is that everywhere we are in, there is excellence, there is faithfulness, but there are challenges. And when he walked to us through, I said, yes, he's speaking to me. This theme, rich in meaning and significance, resonates deeply with our shared mission in education and our commitment in shaping the future of our nation through transfer of knowledge and skills to the people of this country. I am informed that PRESPA brings together all principals of Presbyterian sponsored schools in Kenya and other principals who are members of Presbyterian but in other schools in this country. As the church continues striving for excellence in the way the schools are run and how they comply by government directives and objectives, it is their desire to keep the schools and their leadership abreast with what is happening in the education sector. I note with appreciation that this conference comes at a time when PCA is celebrating 133 years in education. That's not a mean achievement. The theme of this celebration, which is remember, retrace, retell, rekindle. And I wish each one of us can have that in his, not only within the church perspective. I want you to look at your life. Can you remember your years as a student in primary school, in high school, in university or colleges? Can you remember your journey that you have walked through from the first day you are recruited by the commission? Can you retrace your steps? I don't know whether you can see that journey. Somebody came to say hi to me, and she was reminding me that we were together when I was a teacher at Govio Boys, and she was a teacher at Govio Girls. What, my sister? She talked with me. Yes. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you for reminding me to retrace the journey. Yeah? And now we can retell the story, isn't it? I want you to look at your journey and rekindle. Now the thing now is rekindling the fire, isn't it? Reigniting the fire. Yeah? Highlights the PCA continued commitment to community development through investment in education, industrial training and health, loved in an atmosphere of spiritual values and ethics. It's very clear that this calling and commitment is in line with the aspirations of the Minister of Education and the government economic transformation agenda. The PCA Church has over the years demonstrated values of teamwork and handwork in the management of our institutions of learning. As a result, many of the sponsored schools and church-owned private institutions are among the top performing schools across the country. As a commission, we are proud to say that we have minimal challenges with the PCA schools and PCA industry. Even with the principals. I've said minimum because we cannot have zero. You must be realistic, isn't it? Yes, challenges are there, but we are able to work together. And that's why schools like Alliances, that's why schools like Chogoria, that's why like Zethika Training Institute, yeah, is part of the PCA. The Goto Teachers College, and many more schools, they are there, performing quite well, and being the pace setters. Being the pace setters. Not only in academic performance, but with other realms of education. Their success is attributed to the synergy derived from the partnership and cooperation between the Ministry of Education, the Teacher Service Commission, and the church. And that's why when we were called to come and interact with you and eventually by the church, because we are very close partners, we cannot ignore. Because actually what the church is doing now is what we ought to be doing. So we are doing they are doing it on our behalf. This is what we call our professional development, isn't it? Which now the church is doing. That's what this partnership is all about. And I want to say that as a commission, we will consistently support you as per the TSC Act 2012 to safeguard all the sponsored institutions to ensure that such success is sustained and improved. Excellence and faithfulness are not just ideas or ideals. They are the cornerstones of a transformative educational philosophy. As we gather here, we are united by our vision of providing our students with an education that is not only academically rigorous, but also morally and spiritually enriching. In the words of Theodore Roosevelt, he said, to educate a person in the mind, but not morals, is to educate a menace to society. Can you allow me to repeat that? To educate a person in the mind, but not morals, is to educate a menace in society. So that as we strive to enrich our boys and girls with skills, with knowledge, we need to inculcate values and morals that to enable them to be successful individuals and also to be of great importance to the society. The PCA Church of East Africa has for long been a beacon of faith and advocate for quality education. It is fitting that we reflect on how these values can guide us in our roles as educators and leaders. Principals are the drivers of our education institutions. And when as we were preparing this speech, and we were thinking of a driver, Reverend Lucy, let me say this. Even if you have a V8, Brandos, or a Mercedes, or whatever kind of a vehicle you have, even if it's a model of 2024, July, even if you put it, I don't know what kind of a fuel, which is the best fuel, is it V-Power? Yeah? And you do whatever it's done. If the driver is not good, what will happen? It will crash. If the driver does not know how to start, how to brake, what will happen? Anybody here from Luonyansa? Even by birth, not even by whatever. They say like this: a fish starts rotting from the head. Hebu mwambie na lugha ya mama. Hebu mwambie na Kiswahili tafadhali. Hebu mwambie na Kiingereza. And therefore, as a commission, and in agreement with the church, the drivers of education in our education institutions are the principals. That's why I'm humbled to share with you and talk with you, because I am convinced within my heart that you are the ones who are the change agents and transformers of education in this country. You play a very pivotal role in shaping the education landscape of our institutions. Your leadership extends beyond mere administrative duties. You are the driving force behind fostering the culture of excellence. Your leadership shapes the environment in which the students learn and grow. Your vision drives the pursuit of excellence. The challenge before us is to ensure that excellence is not a mere aspiration, but a tangible, everyday reality within our schools. I can see one of my greatest teachers who taught with me in the same staff room. We were taking tea from the same yarn, eating mandazis and other things together. And this lady who is looking at me, Deventry, she remembers that when we were coming up with a vision for our school, and we had called an expert, Prof. When this expert came, we were there in the office waiting for the expert. And we were getting this, actually depressed, because he was supposed to arrive at 10, it's 10:15, 10:20. Kumbe the guy came. And when he came, he passed through the gate. And he asked the watchman, what MINSCO are you working for? The gate man did not know what even MINSCO means. Leave alone. Yeah? Then the guy interacted with the students. Then the guy went to the kitchen and he asked the cooks, what means core are you working for? So you are there, definitely being the secretary of the board, and the chairman of the board is there, and everybody know. Even the church was able to be represented by the education secretary. So the Lucy of the time was there. And when he came in, one of the things he said is, you might be here, but the people you work with, who are the vision carriers, they don't know what they are working for. And he told us, you can prepare the boys and the girls so well, and all of them are immaterial. But that morning of the exam, if the unji is not properly prepared, the unji, prepared by who? The cook. Isn't it? It can lead to underperformance. Because if it has issues, it can cause a lot of stomach instability, and that can lead to challenges. And therefore, below is an in-depth look at how high school principals promote excellence in their schools. To be excellent as an institution, there must be consistent focus on improving the core business and providing better quality each day. And we can borrow the words or the philosophy of Toyota company, Kaizen, ever improving. That in business world, you must always have a consistent focus on improving the core business. It's no wonder if you look at the prom box that was made 5 years ago and the one we have here today, the name is the same, but even the physique, the outer, is quite different. The engine may be more or less the same, but there is always a modification to improve. And therefore, as a principal, Alliance girls, I know the school does well, but there must be a way that you have always to endeavor to improve continuously. There can't be excellence if we are only at the same level we were last year and the other years before. A commitment of excellence is the driving force behind top-rated institutions and organizations. It does not happen in silos. The entire institution must enhance continuous improvement approach, which builds on the following. I am saying the entire institution. Ebu mwambie mwenzako, the entire. You know, if you go to the hospital now, you'll find somebody, the whole body is there. But what has taken all the other part of the body there is a finger like this. And when the mouth focalizes, all a tooth, isn't it? When the mouth focalizes, anasema tumelaso hapa. Ati wao, wao watu wamelala hapo. Na pengine ni kasikio peke yake. That implies that the whole system must be in agreement, must run together, that nobody is useless in an institution. And that's why as a commission, we value our colleagues, right from the lowest level, the driver, or any other person, to the highest level. Because I may be wanting to come here, but if the driver does not drive the vehicle, what will happen? That cook can cause the whole school to be closed down. And we have witnessed it in our institutions, where because of the issues of food poisoning in a school, the whole school is closed temporarily. So it means that all of us are very important. And we can borrow a leaf from the book of Nehemiah. I don't have to read that. You can go and read the book of Nehemiah chapter 1, 2, and 3. You see, Nehemiah had to spell the vision. So the first thing as a leader, if you are going to talk of excellency, then we must have visionary leadership. Visionary leadership. And allow me to ask, how many schools here have a school vision? Vision statement. You can't say all. When I was a Sunday school teacher and a biology teacher, boys could not tell me all of us, we have understood. You know, you can hear, but fail to do what? It's not a must. It's not a must. And how relevant is that vision? How relevant is it? Possibly it was made 20 years ago, before Gen Zs came to power. And I'll challenge you when it comes to some one or two issues. Because I've gone to schools, and the majority of our staff members are Gen Zs. Sinikweli? Na Alva bando wanakunja. Alva, they are on the way. They are the ones who are going to receive us Form 1s 2026. And within 5 years, then we have a better. If you have not known where we are going, let me highlight to. Those are the fellows who are going to be born from 2026, I think, all the way to 2035. That's 6. Let me take you there. You know, you need to me. Yeah, that journalism better. Okay? At the heart of promoting excellence is the principal's ability to articulate and implement a clear vision for the school. Principals must engage stakeholders when they are developing this vision to ensure that it reflects the collective aspiration of the school community. When you are developing the vision, whether you have found it there or what, then there is need for involvement of the entire school community so that it is a shared vision. So that you create a unified direction in order to have all the efforts directed towards that direction. The vision has to be clear and properly understood by all. That's why the doctor who came to give us the direction how to prepare a strategic plan, he had to first of all move around. So that when the watchman is watching over the school, he's not just looking at the vehicle and the like. He is doing it so that the boys can pass. Anybody coming into and out of the school, he is supposed to be very keen so that things that are brought in, they don't affect the main score. The person who is cooking, he is cooking in a manner that the main score will be realized. So that when he is serving tea, whatever he is serving, it's in that perspective. The teachers, when they go to class, they know they are not just going to class because they are employees of Teacher Service Commission. They are going there because there is a vision to realize. When the board of management comes and we are deliberating on issues to improve the school, they are not just coming there because they are agents of the ministry and appointed by the church, but they are coming there to realize a certain vision. I am not convinced in my heart and my mind that if we can ask all your board members, they know the vision for the school. And I want to, when you go back to the board meeting, can you try to ask the chairman of the board or even the members, what is the vision of our school? Can you try to ask the teachers in the staff room, what is the vision of our school? I don't want to ask you now, what is the vision of the Teachers Service Commission? I know you memorize it when you do come to the time of interviews. Yeah? Yeah? But it's important. And as the moderator was preaching, there are some ones he used when I was sitting there. And the ones were simple. Let my people. That was the vision of Moses. So even when he went to tell Pharaoh what he has in mind, it was, let my people. When he went to tell the Israelites that was fugeni virago tunafanya nini, we are going and you have eat because hiyo safari haitakuwa rahisi and hautakula mbuzi hivyo yote from the horns, I don't know, to the hooves. You are eating everything. Nakama, if you cannot finish, can you get another family? Because hii ni kumaliza kabisa. Let my people. Simple statement. How many ones? 4. And therefore our vision should be clear, precise, and easily understood. I repeat, clear, precise, and easily understood by everybody. Sometimes when you look at our visions, actually they are a chapter of a Bible. So that even remembering is a challenge. And I will just refer you, I won't read it, to Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2. That's the basis of developing a vision. I'm not preaching, please don't be scared. But just write it as an assignment. I also borrow from the moderator. I give you an assignment. Now that we are colleague teachers, isn't it? It's supposed to be very clear. Imagine even if you are an Israelite and you hear, let my people go. Sio ni rahisi sana. Hata ikiwa hujasoma sana. Even the Pharaoh had no problem, I think, in understanding. Because the sense was just people going. Hakuambiwa ataacha kazi, let my people go. And he said, fine, kama ni kuenda, and then bus. You know, releasing them was very easy for him. Kama ni kuenda, fanya nini? Lakini hakunjiuliza na wakienda utafanyiwa kazi na nani. As later on he started thinking, by the way, who will work for us? So the vision is supposed to be so clear, easily understood, and that resonates well with the mission of the organization. Therefore, I want you to look at your vision. That's why, even as a commission, when we are doing clearing our 5-year strategic plan, we reevaluated our strategic plan and we looked at our what? Vision. And we re-envisioned, rekindling. We revisioned and said we want a motivated, ethical, globally competitive teacher. Motivated. You cannot be motivated when your terms of service are not very good. Because there is internal, there is intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And that's why we are there promoting. And that's why FEC, as a commission, from July last year to July this year, we are promoted in the entire country, the president, through his elective and provision of funds, over 50,000 teachers. Some of them are here, others out there. But you see, you have to cross Red Sea so that you reach the desert. From the desert, you start eating quails and drinking water from the rock. Then you cross Jordan. Still, you are towards Canaan. And when you arrive Canaan, then you have to take honey and milk. But remember, by the time you get honey, there are bee stings. So there are some of those dynamics. And that's why Reverend moderator was teaching us the need to persevere as we excel. Is that okay? The second one is communication. Very crucial if excellence has to be there. That success in an organization is dependent on how effective you are or you have communication channels. Everyone needs to understand the why. The reason behind the decision of the change that is needed. When you tell them that you want to, our miniscore now, I don't know what's the target miniscore for your current for force, don't tell us please. But when you are telling the parents, when you are telling the form force, when you are telling the teachers, they must understand why. That's why sometimes the miniscore set by the principals remains in the principal's office. Doesn't flow to the staff room. Or if it is with the staff room, it is the teachers and the principal, but the students, they are not part of that miniscore. The parents are not part of that set target. So the why must be understood. Then what and how. People must understand the what, the how to do it. It's no wonder Nehemiah, in his vision, was very clear to rebuild that one, there was no proper worship of God. And therefore, there was need to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. And he made the king understand. My mission is simple. Me, I want to go and rebuild the wall. Simple statement. Hiyo ndio kioneki. Simple. Rebuild the wall. Hiyo ndio si ndio nefanya ukaa hivyo. Haya sawa enda. Lakini mkubwa, you cannot rebuild without materials. Na nikitoka hapa nifike kule, kuna miti naonanga nikipita hapa Lebanon. Kaambia sawa hiyo utapata tu, nitakubea kabarua. Resources. But you see, there is proper Communication. Are you getting that? When he landed there, the first thing was scouting and convincing the leaders of Israel, the men and women therein. Communicating. Why are we rebuilding? He explained to them, and they understood. That's why everybody was there participating. When you are working for that MINSCO, do the teachers understand why you are working for it? Among the teachers themselves, do they know that you cannot get a high MINSCO if students don't perform well in mathematics? Even if CRA or of your history or geography then get A's, and mathematics then get E's, are you going to get a good MINSCO? What about English? Does it play any role? If all the science students get A, eh? And the languages they fail, are we going to get a good MINSCO? So it means there must be collaborative approach that everybody understands. Why are we buying a vehicle, a school bus? Why are we putting up a laboratory science? Why are we buying equipment? The why must be understood. The how must be understood. The what must be understood. This implies that information must be cascaded throughout the institution. Everyone has to understand the purpose, the vision, the mission, and the reason for what needs to be done. And possibly that one I've learned it from Gen Z. I have a friend of mine, a known from Israel, who tells me every challenge is an opportunity for innovation and to learn. So if you have not learned anything from those young men and ladies, then you need to be taken back to school. Goes to me what I've learned as a leader, you cannot lead with only one leadership style. Now some of you and me, you are the Alpha and the Omega. Yeah? So instructional leadership is also essential for excellence. Principals are integral in enhancing instructional quality within their schools. They achieve this through several strategies. One, curriculum implementation. A principal needs to work closely with the teachers to ensure that the curriculum is fully implemented. Work closely. There can't be excellence, even for a moderator, if it's not working closely with the clergy. I have heard the moderator say the other day he was in Chogoria area to open a church. Isn't it? That means he went the ground. He could have done it virtually. But he had to see even the congregation, isn't it? Some of us, our vice chancellor, we manage our schools virtually. Yeah. You know, I'm the chairman of the PRESPA. I'm the chairman of the Hands Association. I'm the chairman of the music in the whole country. And the ministry and the TSC has to consult me. So on Monday, I pass through the TSC office to see whether there are some policies that may have been passed over the weekend. And on Friday, I pass through the county director's office ministry, so that we can prepare ourselves for the incoming ball games. And on Wednesday, I have to meet with the moderator and the education secretary to know how our schools are working, so that we can really see how to bridge the gap. I'm not saying anything myself, please forgive me. But the moderator himself had to go all the way to Chogoria to open a church. What does that tell us? That for curriculum implementation, if there has to be excellency, the principal is the first person to monitor the implementation of the curriculum. But you cannot monitor what you don't know. You can't monitor what you don't know, isn't it? That means the principal is the teacher number one. With all due respect and with humility, if as a principal, the school MINSCO is 8 or 10 or 5, whatever the MINSCO, the subject MINSCO for all the other subjects, they are above 5. And the principal subject MINSCO is 3. What moral authority will you have to ask people whether they have covered the syllabus or not? I'm only asking a question. I don't require an answer. Your subject You have not even covered the syllabus. What more authority will I have to ask whether we have covered the syllabus? And that's why the Luo community says, the fish. The fish. Wewe ndio unasema, sio mimi. Are you getting that, my colleagues? So it means that for curriculum implementation, the first person to supervise is the principal. And you have to do it physically. You have to have the feel of the school. You have to listen to the ground, as they say in another arena. Because sometimes, during some meeting, and I know you are going to have some meeting when you open the schools, and when you close the schools, I know you hand it, and you ask, how far have you covered the syllabus? And the end of department says, we are very okay, principal. Actually, my team, goja tu, hii mwaka utastuka. Kwetu utastuka wakati maneno itaenda the other way around. That time, things are not working right. Records of work have been filled, lesson plans, well, there are people, when you talk of taking care of those documentations, they are excellent. But when you come to the real ground in the classroom, it's another story. Am I talking the truth? Professional development. Principals are supposed to prioritize ongoing professional development programs of their staff and even themselves by providing teachers with opportunities to learn new strategies, collaborate with peers, and engage in reflective practices in order to stay current with the best practices. There is a lot of change. There is a lot of diversity. And therefore there is need to ensure that our teachers are in tandem with the trends in education. I am happy to note that some schools there is a lot of that, whereby we invite mentors and coaches, senior teachers, who can come and talk to our teachers and even talk to our students. Sometimes we invite examiners. In fact, my first time when I was posted by the Teacher Service Commission and went to the school that I went to teach, I had not known how biology is marked. And I got a teacher from a neighboring school who took me through, even showed me how to mark. What does the examiner neck look for? And he came and talked to us, and he talked to the boys and girls. And because sometimes they were on the mark, I don't know, you being principals, have you ever tried to check how the compositions are marked and inches? I don't know whether you have ever taken an exercise book from the students, not telling the teacher to bring it. You just walk in the class, request the insha or the composition book, and check how it's marked. Sometimes you find it's just one light in the whole page. Because you emphasized that there must be 2 compositions marked per month. So what wanafanya then ka. But do you check how the marking is done? If it's only one tick, has that person read through all to check even whatever? That's what I'm talking about. So you need also to expose your teachers. And they also coming here is a professional development training, isn't it? So that you can learn from colleagues. You can learn from peers. You can have exchange. Then you need to have what I refer to as data-driven decision making. Data-driven decision making. Effective principals must and have to utilize data to monitor students' performance by analyzing the tests, the scores, and attendance records in classes, so that they can make informed decisions. When you have brought the results, how do you analyze them? Data is very good, and data does not lie. Don't just look at just the final mean score. How did the top performers perform? Did they do it optimally? What about the lower performers? Can you be able to go the details to the students per student? Proper analysis. I know majority of us, we have a curriculum master who gives the results and analyzes for us. But as they do it, it's very, very important so that we can know which resources, which strategies that we can adopt. Where do we allocate more resources? What intervention programs can we come with So that, for example, if it's humanities that as a challenge, then you can put more effort along that area. If it's the chances and whatever, all those kind of a thing. Analysis, therefore, enables leadership to make informed decisions based on needs and come up with strategies to improve depending on what the data says. As a principal, therefore, you also need to create a positive school culture. Positive school culture. Culture is very fundamental in any organization for achieving excellence. Principals, therefore, are required to foster an environment where students, staff, both support and teaching, and parents feel valued. I repeat that one. Feel valued, respected, and motivated. You know, you go to some schools, you can, even before you are told anything by the principal or anybody, you can see an institution where students are feeling they are at home. Sometimes you tell them it is mid-term, some start crying. They take you as their mother or their father. Because they feel so valued that they own the school. That's why those schools will never hear of a strike. Because by the time the others organize, they whisper something to the teachers, the priest, or even the headmistress, or the principals. Because they own the school. In fact, they talk of our school bus. Do you expect those who are talking of our school bus, they can allow somebody to set it on fire? Never. They feel respected. They feel valued. I have underperformed. But somebody will sit down with me to assist me improve. The parents. Sometimes the parents are taken not like they are valued at all. Sometimes, and I've told my colleagues I'm working with, when we invite for school prize giving day, Professor, I'm surprised. I was in graduation of KU the other day. They graduated over 5,000. By one, we were through and we were all over. The graduates were enjoying cakes and name it. But to go to a school where they are prize giving day with 200 students at 5, really, the teacher of this country. Number 1B is a learner of this country. Because we don't have learners in this country, we will not have teachers in this country. If you don't have teachers in this country, there will not be Teachers Service Commission. And therefore, I have to serve you economically, efficiently, and effectively within the constitution, with due respect. That I don't require that you are outside my office there for 2 hours. Honestly, that's why as a commission, we are automating most of our services. Professor, when these ladies and gentlemen are sitting here, they can upload their pay slip when they are sitting here. Nandaganya ama ni ukweli? If you want to apply for transfer, si utafanya ukiwa hapa. Na uki apply for loan, hapa. Online. But I remember, those who are Generation X, the pay slips used to go to the DO's office. Then you go to unbox unatafuta yako. Ama inakuita alafu unakatakata kitu kama hiyo. What are we saying? Our customer must be motivated, must be served well. Our students are our customers. They are number one, our parents. And therefore, you cannot talk of excellency if both the internal and the external customers are dissatisfied. A culture of efficiency, therefore, and effectiveness has been developed, sustained by the leaders who are leading any organization, and more so the schools. Principles, therefore, you need to cascade to everyone in the institution through the following. 1, develop strong relationship with all the customers. And here customers nimesema number 1 ni nani? Mwanafunzi, ni kweli? Hiyo ni customer number 1. Number 2, the teacher whom you are working with. Number 3, the parent and other stakeholders. Develop a relationship. Let them value you. Sometimes you're dining hall. One time I would go to the dining hall, and when they're eating or they're eating whatever they're eating, I sit down on that table. And I tell my boy now, get me a spoon. And we eat it from the, Bwana. You see a boy happy. The principal alikula ugali yangu. You know, there is, this food is not bad. That's why the principal is eating it. Yeah? Just walk with them. Check where they sleep. Don't send the matron. Check yourself. Be with them. Resonate with them. When they are challenged and when there is happiness. Yeah? Principals also require to implement the policies and practices that promote and practice diversity. Ensure that all students have access to quality education. Don't discriminate based on color, based on religion, on other social dynamics, or even physical ability, because we are gifted differently. Some people are physically challenged. How do we support them? That's how you can relate with them. Ensure that within the school fraternity, everybody understands that diversity is the strength of a community. So that even if it's a national school like Alliance, where we have all Kenyans, everybody has equal opportunity. And that way, you can realize excellence in the institution. The heads of institutions are also expected to recognize and celebrate achievement, whether academic, whether behavioral, co-curricular activity, appreciate in whatever form. It must not be monetary. It can be even recognition. If you tell a boy who was very good in choir when the bishop was presiding over a function, and we say we want to recognize the CU chairman because of the way he organized us. Can you step forward, Peter? Hey, nakwambia, he will walk not shouting but inwardly talking in tongues. Because I have been recognized. I have been appreciated. So you don't require really to come up with a budget allocation at the financial implication of appreciation. No. There are many forms of appreciation. The other day when we had the World Teachers Day, we invited a teacher whom I saw in the social media. Social media is very good. Don't ignore it. I saw in the social media a teacher, a lady teacher from I think Kajiando, who was mending and dress of a very young girl, and then the teacher gave inaitwa nini hii mnavanga? Hiyo sasa. So the girl covered herself, and the teacher got the needle from her bag and a string and mended the cloth of the girl. Thread. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's a professor speaking. And I've learned something. It's a thread, isn't it? Yes. I mean, we know when you are thinking, whom do you recognize? I remember I checked my phone and I said, look at this. Don't you think this one is a hero? Ama alikuwa ameandikwa kabarua na TSC to do that. Na principal, na mzazi wa mtoto. That was an internal drive. So that it's very, very important, really, to do that. Let's recognize those people who go an extra mile. Yeah? Those who go beyond the call of duty. Sometimes you go to a school, a teacher is not on duty. And there's no program for assisting those who are challenged. I don't want to use that other one you want me to use. And you find the teacher is there assisting students. He is not on duty. It's even a Saturday. It's not that kind of a whatever. But the teacher is assisting the learners. Observe those things. Or even a cook. Or even a driver. You know. Doesn't mean a teacher only. Excellence cannot be realized if there is no prudent, proper resource management. And I'm not talking of financial. I'm talking of resource. Because in the school, we have many resources. We have the human resource. School. Endeavor also to seek more funding, more grants, more partnerships. Look for sponsorships. And I would also say, can you also be innovative enough to engage within your school income generating activities? Even the government, for it to succeed. That's why I'm saying we are going to have taxes. We are going to raise money from this area. We are going to look for development partners. I mean, that is true. Because you have to look for funding from all over. Development partners may come and take immunization for the government. The service will be excellent. Once we immunize our children, we will say the government is working well. And that's what we are saying. And I may ask you, you might find a school that has over 20 acres, 30 acres, 50 acres, 100 acres. There is not even a single onion plant. I want you to, where you are seated, can you ask yourself, what income generating activity I have in the school? And also ask a simple question. Everywhere where there is food, hata kule mnatoka nyumbani, kitchen, there must be some waste. Ama kwenu wakuangi na waste? Hata kandogo. Si iko kidogo. What about in a school with the 2,000 like alliance? It's a volume. But you find in that school, I'm not saying alliance, please forgive me. In a school where there is waste, after there is no single pig. And what you require, because the food is already there, is a piglet which goes between 2,500 and 3,000. Even if you sacrifice your conference allowance, you can go home with 2 piglets, a male and a female. It's only 5,000 or 6,000 at most. 2 months, 3 months. And possibly 10,000 for putting up a what? A shed. Because already the food is, and we have a groundsman who can be taking the food there. In fact, you can use the agricultural students to learn pig rearing. And they can be going to feed the pig. In the process, work is going on. And then you can sell the pig. You generate money for the academic tour. Or to buy chemicals. or to buy games uniform. But you know, we are there living in lamentations. Lamentation throughout. I was given a small school, me and D5. I have come from a school of 2,000, now I'm in a school of 500. That's not manageable. I've been moved from, I was telling my colleagues, I've been moved from Roiro, a school in Roiro, and I'm taken to a school in Kiambu. I'm separated from my my friends and my brothers. We must be innovative enough. You can rear chicken, is that true? And the students can be eating at least an egg per month. Do you know what they will say? They will not be saying that they eat 1 egg per month. They will say in our school we eat eggs. And I wish you know the impact that egg can have to those boys and girls. And you can get others from neighboring school where they are not eating. Goes to them, that's a delicacy. Is that not true? So there is a lot we can do. But I'm very excited. There are some schools that you go, you find even the flower beds. We are like now emphasizing that as plant trees, but we are saying we can also plant fruit trees. I went to Karoti Girls when I was a CU person. Way back a few years ago, let me not use the word many. So you can imagine when I was in CU as a young person. And we were so surprised, Karoti Girls. Karoti nienu? Ni kazi kama ni? No, sisemi. Who is the sponsor? Well, whatever it is. But what I noted, I don't know whether the principal has retired. I'm not so sure, but I expect that. You know, along the flower beds, sugar cane, taller than me, oranges, mangoes. You know, I could not imagine I'm in class. I can extend my hand like this. And she was telling us that when those things drop, they are collected by girls and put in a basket and put together for everybody to eat. I want to look at how these people are being taught to be responsible, to even to be stewards of what is available, isn't it? I could not. I mean, then we went to, is it Odaya Girls? I think so. I think we went to Odaya. Is it? Anybody from Odaya Girls? Oh, okay. You know the girls. You know the girls. Have you ever gone there? If you go to the girls, now the sugarcane I'm talking about. Yani, when the girl is sleeping, she is taking oxygen from sugarcane. I want you to look at that. So you can see how you can even use your limited space. So that you have prudent financial management. It's also important for you to be transparent, especially to the board, or now you're managing there, so that there can't be excellence when the resources are poor. It can't happen. It's also important to build community of partnerships. Community of partners, and the professor will tell you, universities usually have community of partnerships. They are partnering with the developed, with the financial institutions. They are partnering with the research institutions. They are partnering with other universities, both public and private, and name it. Principals need to extend your influence beyond the school walls by building strong partnerships that enhances the performance of the school. There is need to work with all stakeholders. Sometimes I get challenged when there is a conflict between the principal and the sponsor. I get it stopped. And Reverend Bruce knows that sometimes when they come and they are telling us this, or they'll tell them, when you are in the church and you are preaching, do you first of all ask somebody whether you are Catholic, or you are ACK, or you are Muslim? You preach Christ. So sometimes when the commission does its constitutional mandate, and I take somebody who is not a Presbyterian into the school, I think preach to this person, convert him or her to Presbyterian. However, if you are taken to that school and you are not a Presbyterian, or even your members who are Presbyterian, they are in Catholic school, some of them are here. When you go there, respect. Respect, and I'm using that word without fear of contradiction. Respect the values and the dogma of the sponsor. I was a deputy Govium Boys Catholic, and I said that fear of contradiction. When it came to mass, I would walk with my boys into the church. The mass is finished, we walk back. Because these people are preaching Christ. It's about God, not about other things. So it's important for us, and that's where sometimes the conflict comes in. We have the PPIs, isn't it? Pastoral programs. Let it be programmed so that even the priest or the pastor or whoever knows that he knows I'm supposed to come at 4:10. And when he comes, let him have the students. Because me, when I became a deputy, my principal told me this. When you hear the CU praying, the YCS they are singing, go and sleep. Because they are chasing away the demons. Wake up immediately, they keep quiet. And it is true. You can imagine during Sunday, all the Protestants are in a room like this. The Catholics are in the other room. Go and sleep, go and eat, go and drink. Go and thank God. Because all the demons now are under captivity. Because those people are shepherding your students, isn't it? So let us learn to work with, and I'm using the word, all stakeholders. Our political class, they are the ones providing the CDF money to put up the dormitory, to put up the laboratory. They are even paying bursaries. Some counties, I was surprised, they are paying 40,000 shillings per student. I was in Kwale High School on Wednesday, last week. The governor is educating 660 students in that school only. This financial year, she has put across 32 million, one school. What will make the governor not to ask what is happening in the school? We need to work in partnership. Managing change and innovations is another very crucial thing for success to be there and faithfulness to be there. Change is inevitable, and therefore principals have to embrace change. Education and environment are dynamic, and principals must adapt at managing change and fostering innovation. This involves understanding the demographic trends of the teaching staff. I thought I mentioned that, and the learners. Demographic trend. I don't know whether here we have baby boomer as a principal, but possibly yes, one or two. But majority of you, when I look at you, you are Gen X. Those who are born 64 to when? To 80, isn't it? Most of you. Yeah? I can see people nodding. But majority of our teachers that now we have are millennials and Gen Z. Especially now my JSS teachers are Gen Z. You must understand them. Their reasoning is different from the way you reason. The way you are managing, the way you are managed when you are in primary, especially Gen X and secondary, is not the way you can manage students today in discipline. We must know the trends. When I was a principal, there used to be a hands manual. That red book. See, it is true. It even explained how to do one or two things. But when we had the new constitution, things changed. So you cannot manage that way. So it calls upon you to understand the demographic trend, even of your parents. Your parents. The parent we have today is not the parent of yesterday. Sometimes we are blaming students, but my big question to my heart is, si unga unatoka kwa ugali? Oh, I wanted to know whether you are awake. Si ugali unatoka kwa unga? So when we are there blaming the child, How is our parenting? One time I was a deputy, and a boy came with wine in the school. And to me, the first thing was, especially kama Yesu ametembea na wewe vizuri, you feel like casting the demons. Hello? Mnanielewa lakini? So we request the parent to come. Actually, the mother could not understand what was bothering the principal and everybody else. Because after meal, they take wine. So don't you think now you need to sit down with the parent first before you sit down with the boy? To know there is difference between what? Home and school. That's what I'm talking of demography. That as we handle us as parents, as we handle the teachers, understand the variation. Understand the technological difference. It's just the other day, from 202 when we all of us owned a mobile phone. Some of you have even 4. There is one for the home, one for the school, one for M-Pesa, the other one for businesses. Yeah? But our own children, actually you find what our young mothers doing. Very small toddlers, 1 month old. They have a mobile phone, smartphone, not kabambe, where they are looking at cartoons. Is that not true? What does that tell? Those fellows are technologically savvy. And therefore you as a principal now, you need to understand these people are so exposed to technology that if you are not at that level, then you will not be able to manage them. So it is important for us to embrace change. I know that curriculum can be implemented and delivered even using technology. We don't have to adopt the traditional methods of teaching. We can infuse technology to deliver curriculum. You can use YouTube. Today, any topic in history, in CLI, in mathematics, you just go to YouTube, then you have a teacher teaching you there. And some of our young teachers, actually that's what they are doing. So you find it on his desk, he doesn't have so many textbooks. Then you are wondering, when do you prepare? You are there quarreling him. But that guy has better notes than the KROB content. So it's good really to work with them and find what's happening. The other one is accountability and stewardship. There can't be excellence and faithfulness if there is no accountability and faithfulness or stewardship. As a leader, you need to exhibit moral standards that are overboard. You know, you are no longer the classroom teacher. Even the way you walk, the social gatherings you go, the way you sit, even your cat must reflect that of a principal. Ile paka yako. Paka, lazima ionekane ni ya mwalimu mkuu. Because when we come there to the school, tunauliza mwalimu wako wapi? Kwa sababu hao wengine. So where you are praised is very high in the society. And the moral standards includes integrity, respect, and deep commitment to holistic development of our students. Accountability means adhering to ethical standards. You nurture a culture of transparency in all actions. Let the body know that the Minister of Education gave this amount of money for tuition. And this is what has happened. And that's why the ministry is saying, can you put it on the notice board? So that even the learners know. Is that not what the ministry is saying? Yes. Let the body know that this amount of money given for boarding, lunch allowance, or lunch fee for that matter. This is what we bought for maize. This is what we bought from beans. And therefore we have spent this, we don't have money. That transparency is very crucial. Let them know when you are buying the school bus, which company. If they want to visit, let them go and visit. You know? Let them know let them know the program of the school, so that when they hear the students are in Mombasa, they don't start calling all the offices that we are not told. And especially if something wrong happens. Hello? Am I speaking to somebody? Accountability means adhering to ethical standards, nurturing the culture of transparency in all actions. I repeat it again because that's very important. All actions that you do. Even when you discipline a teacher, let also the teacher know why. Why are you being disciplined? The other day I called you. The other did not come to school. The other day you did this. Let him understand. So that mwalimu asiende kuchochea wengine waambie, it's because I'm from this region, I don't know this, I don't know the other. Stewardship embodies responsible planning and management of resources. That's faithfulness. That's stewardship. Biblically, stewardship is utilizing and managing all resources God provides for the glory of God and the betterment of his creation. Can you allow me to repeat that? Yeah? It means what? Biblically utilizing and managing all resources God provides for the glory of God and the betterment of his creation. Brothers and sisters, whatever position you hold today, even whatever position I am holding, it is a privilege and opportunity God has given me a time like this to be where I am. I don't know whether you know that the position you are holding, it is God who declared from Jeremiah 29 verse 11, and he actualized it, that I have good plans for you, to prosper you and for a future. And the actualization, he made you the Principal Alliance Girls High School. It's a privilege, it's an opportunity. And therefore you are just a steward. And therefore it means the resources we have, both human, financial, and physical, needs one to be utilized for God's glory and for betterment of his creation. That means when a girl comes there or a boy with a D minus, let him go home at least with a grade above. When he comes there and he has a gift of music, let him come out when he can really do good music or P or what. Because they have different talents. Because whatever we do is for the betterment of God's creation. Why? Because we are just stewards. In organization perspective, that was biblical. It means careful and responsible management of something entrusted on one's core or care. It is careful and responsible management of something entrusted in one's care. Just ask yourself, now that I'm borrowing from the moderator, that's a question for you. Whatever has been given to me, am I managing it carefully and in a responsible way? Please don't answer alas. When you are sleeping in the night, when you are walking, just look at the way you manage the school bus. Look at the way you manage the finances. Look at the way you manage the teachers. Look at the way you manage that farm. Prof, look at the way you manage the university. Yeah? Even me, wherever I am. And therefore, it's important to know that stewards are not owners. The person whom we have left at home to take care of your cattle is a steward. He has to manage them. He's not the owner of the cow. But make him feel that he owns the cow. Have you gone to a home and hand a handsman saying, ng'ombe zetu? Umewaisikia kitu kama hiyo? Ng'ombe zetu, shamba letu, kawa yetu. And imagine this guy is an employee. Can you imagine how he has possessed that? Na akisema ng'ombe ya mzee, ng'ombe ya mdosi, mtoto wa mama. But when you go home and find that the nanny is saying, mtoto wetu, unjue sasa you are going to go. And therefore it's our responsibility. It calls for us to be faithful stewards, where one has to take seriously the opportunity that has been given by God to serve others. As educators, therefore, we have a responsibility to instill in our students and learners not only academic knowledge, but also moral and ethical principles. By integrating principles into our teaching practices and daily interactions with them, we help shape students who are not only knowledgeable, but also responsible and compassionate individuals. As per the words of Martin Luther King Jr., he said, education without morals is like a ship without compass, merely wandering nowhere. Even if you do our students and they get A's, and they have no moral values, do you know they become medical doctors, they don't become engineers, they don't become big people, but they'll not even be able to manage themselves. And I think we are seeing it in our sight, isn't it? Sometimes even in our very homes. So to me, Reverend, Education Secretary, there is need to re-emphasize on the ethical and moral issues more as we build on instilling skills and competencies to our learners. And that should be the gospel preached by everybody. By the parent, by the sponsor, and by us. Let us inculcate good morals to our clients, even our parents. Even our parents. So you are the parents. Yes. We need to do that. So that we can also guide them to guide the learners. I know sometimes when the schools close, you say, wow, I know that night you sleep very well. Especially when you get messages from parents they have arrived. Like, now you people, you are sleeping very well. But sasa sisi tumepokea wow. Sisi parents. Eh? Parents are now saying, my God, it's a problem. I don't know whether you have had an interaction with the parent, akwambie nimekuletea shinde yako. Na ni mtoto wa? Na nakwambia hiyo ni shinde ya? Ama anaambia mtoto nitaambia mwalimu. Honestly. Yeah? So it means that we are so crucial in shaping the destiny of our learners. And therefore the need, Didi, to re-emphasize on this. However, with all those ways that you can do to make you excel and also be faithful, challenges and opportunities are always there. One of the things that I'll let you know is that head teachers currently are navigating a landscape of profound change and emerging challenges. In fact, 2026 will be a new paradigm shift for you. The learners that are coming Gen A are different from Gen Zs and the like. The challenges revolves around technology, very dynamic, social expectations. The church expects their schools to perform well. The parent expects the child to come out very well. The commission expects that. Ever increasing demand from all stakeholders. These issues impact to the quality of education, students' well-being, and overall effectiveness of the educator or the principal. In that perspective, it is important, therefore, to seek ways and do your administrative duties in a different way. By, one, sharing with others the challenges you have, seeking for support systems. It can be even from the church, it can be even from the university, other institutions, or even from your colleague peers. Sometimes the challenge you have is such a minor because your colleague went through it and she knew or he knew how to navigate. You can get ideas from them. Let us be innovative enough on this. The other challenge that is real a problem is mental health and well-being of the learners and of the teachers and everybody else, even the parents. In the school community, we need to be concerned about the mental well-being of our learners and the emerging critical issues that are there in our schools. There is a lot of academic pressure, drug and substance abuse, limited access to mental health and awareness. In that regard, there is a lot of anxiety among our learners. Some of our learners, they belong to the parents who are Gen X. You can imagine the son and the daughter of the professor. she can't understand how you are not going to work to become like her. Alafu, wewe ni daktari, wewe ni engineer, wewe ni professor, kijana nakwambia mimi nataka kuwa msanii. DJ. Hey. Are you seeing that dynamic? And you are putting a lot of pressure for an A. But the guy wants to perfect on the movement of body joints. Yeah? So that you find ile mtungi ilikuwa ya maziwa imetobolewa imewekwa speaker ndani. Na nyungu. Yeah? My friends, what does it mean for us as principals? Then we need to ensure that we have established working guidance and counseling in our schools. As a church and a sponsor, we need to enhance chaplaincy. It's very, very crucial. Very, very crucial. When we recruit a nurse as a school, let us also find out whether this nurse has done clinical psychology. Not just nursing. Because we are not only going to deal with bacteria, viruses, and other microorganisms. We have also other issues that affect a human being other than the normal physiological complication. Mental complication can be there. We also need to ensure that our teachers also undergo this. That's why as a commission, as a commission we know the well-being of teachers is very crucial. The mental health and the like. That's why we have the wellness center at the headquarters. That the teachers who are depressed, they can be taken through coaching, mentorship, and the like. And if we realize beyond certain levels, we refer them even for rehabilitation. Sio ni ukweli walimu. And if you have teachers that you feel that they need that support, please bring them to us. Report it to the director or sub-county director, human resource, so that this teacher can be assisted to cope. Because sometimes, because of the pressure in society, even for principals, you are unable to cope. You are unable to cope. We don't want to lose our teachers. We don't want to lose our learners. We don't also want to lose our parents. That's why, Prof, as a commission, I don't know whether that's how you do it in your university. As a commission, when a teacher is in such a situation, even alcoholic, to us we are treating it as a disease, we recommend for rehab. And the teacher will go there for 3 months, full pay. And the insurance covers for the medical expense. So that the teacher can come back to his senses. So that he can come back because he's a Kenyan. He's a brother, he's a sister. And possibly what has put him to this is because of his inability to manage stress. Is that not true? Ama nyinyi mkwangi na stress? Omezoea. Thank God that we are able to cope. There are those who cannot be able to do what? And those are the ones we are saying we need to provide what? Support. We call it socio-psycho support. Let us listen to them. Let us also create supportive environment where students feel safe and free to focalize their challenges. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. If you have a student parliament, they will tell you have eaten money. One time I had a student parliament. And a boy under the seat that the school had given. There's this 40 called electricity, water, and boy interpreted for the others in dormitory. It is entertainment, what and what. And the figure given there, it's a reasonable amount of money. So he could not understand why, instead of proper entertainment, with very good machines, hoovers, mdudo mzuri, they are only allowed to have entertainment twice per month. And they did the calculation. They calculate the number of boys vis-a-vis the amount of money. And I was told, principal, don't you think you are eating our money? I had to get now the kitabu inaonyesha the meaning of various votients in the bunge to defend myself. Kumbe, it is electricity, not? So you can imagine if, that's what, please have a moment. Sit down with Form 4, sit down with Form 1, sit down with Form 2, sit down with them. You know they are human beings like you. The difference is the date of birth. See, yeah, because that variation in the age brings knowledge acquisition, skills acquisition, skills and the like, isn't it? The other thing that you have to be careful about is what we call discipline and behavior issues. Preceptors know some of the behavior problems we have is not the students. Sometimes the environment. Sometimes they are the challenges, isn't it? As a commission, I want to promise that Education Secretary will work very closely with you, with the principals. We'll walk the journey with you. And we'll do that which is within the law. We'll promote you. Once you are given money by the government, we'll ensure that promotions come and they are given. We'll also stand with you when you have challenges as far as professionalism is concerned. And as long as you have acted within the law, we'll walk the journey with you. However, whatever the situation, don't hesitate to come to us. We are your colleagues. It's only that all of us cannot fit in Alliance Girls. Some must be in Mangu, some must be in the other school, some must be in TSC and the quarters. Are you getting my narrative? But one thing I want to reassure you is to walk the journey with you as you champion the right of the child, as you work with the stakeholders to ensure there is excellence, there is faithfulness and stewardship in whatever we do. Allow me to say, may God bless you. May God be fond of you. May God keep you. May God be your guide and shield as you perform your duties. And I want to declare and decree you are going to excel and do well in whatever you do in your schools. God bless you.
Thank you. A better hand for our chairman. Thank you very much. You must agree with me that was great. Thank you, our chairman. I would like to ask whether you take a few questions from the floor. Thank you very much. Members, I think it would be better if we put our questions, we write our questions so that we move faster. But probably if there is one burning one, we can hear it as the rest of us writes them down. Yeah. Let the question be precise, to the point. We can have one person as the rest of us write so that we move faster. Please let it be precise.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chairman. My name is Poroki. I have one burning question according to me because of what is happening currently in our country in terms of Gen Z and the employment. And there are quite a number of them. Some of them are teachers. I want to ask what informed the change of the recruitment of teachers, where they were recruited some few years ago. They were being recruited according to the time they finished the university or colleges. Now today is like it's not so clear which criteria is being used. Maybe I'm not well informed, but that is what is happening where I'm working, and I find it one of the things that is causing that is pressure, uncertainty, discouragement, that I'm not sure whether I'll get employment or not. Thank you.
Thank you. I will request Bwana Gitari to help me pick the questions as we get one more from the back, then the front here.
Thank you so much. My name is Elizabeth Chege. I really want to appreciate our chairman for that powerful knowledge and encouragement. My question is about the new teachers who are coming into the schools, and because the colleges and the universities are not teaching them about the code and all that, so when they come, although we have teammate and all that, some of them seems, because they're in Generation Z, they seem not to be in tandem with some of those codes regulation. And though it takes a lot of time to be able to ground them, they really pose a challenge, because it's like they don't understand why they have come. And it's in the same manner, breath, that they got a job and they do not know what to do with it. Number 2 is about delocalization policy. The delocalization policy, maybe it is also good for us to be very clear. Is it still a policy with our employer, or now there is relocalization? From delocalization, now you'll be relocalized. Is it a policy that is there so that as we seek, not just to go to your local village, but maybe your county, is it really acceptable and is it possible? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Madam Elizabeth, here in front. One more there. Thank you. Let's get this one, then.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I'm Elizabeth, and I want to ask, now that our chairman is here, some of the schools are really straining because of staffing. And sometimes back, we used to be asked for the staffing and we give the numbers. The schools that are the high shortages were taken care of, but these days we are really straining. Personally, maybe I can ask, is it still followed? I have actually communicated to the chair, and he has told me it is noted. But when the schools are having, I don't know whether it's common to the other schools, a shortage of 16 teachers, 17, and you are paying them under board of management. With a shortage of capitation, you know what has happened last year, but we did not get proper capitation. Last year the same, and you need to pay these teachers. I don't know whether the others are experiencing the problems that we're having. It's a challenge that we cannot be able to manage.
Thank
it's
you.
Giving us a lot of stress.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I start with the first 3. Recruitment. We have a recruitment policy that we follow, because an organization is guided by policy, is guided by rule of law. On the recruitment of JSS teachers, you realize that JSS is domiciled in primary schools. And therefore, when we recruited, or the recruitment the commission does is guided by provisions of finances by exchequer. We don't even determine what to give. But the exchequer will give us and tell us, you are giving this amount of money, recruit this number, graduate pay this, diplomas pay this. We can't change a coin. When we came to recruitment, if you followed carefully, we recruited at the sub-county level. The aim was that the teachers from that locality work within that locality because of the national conversation. And in that locality, for example, a sub-county, you realize that then people competed. The first advertisement, we never even asked for any subject combination. The reason being there was no any teacher in any JSS class. Sio ni kweli? So first of all, we provide a teacher. Then we provide a teacher per class. That if a school has 3 classes, that's what we call streams, then we give 3 teachers. Then the second recruitment, 20,000, September last year, August last year, September, because they reported in September. We were given 20,000 slots. And now we have 30,550 classes in primary schools. So they could not even be enough to give another one teacher per school. So we recruited again within the sub-counties and gave them those particular, I'm talking of JSS. Then we also deployed those primary school teachers who had made the minimum requirement to teach that level. From our data, at that particular time, we got about 10,000 teachers. Those ones, we moved them to the JSS schools. As I talk with you, we have shortfall, which is very huge as a commission. Very, very huge shortfall. At JSS, where we are going to grade 9, and also in the regular 844, the remaining 4 classes. But the same way that the primary are stabilized. You know, the teachers who are teaching standard 7 and 8, now they are teaching grade 6 and below. To the point that in the lower primary, grade 1 to 6, actually primary schools, overall, we have excess teachers. Overall. Because that's how we move them. Next year in January, they're going to be from 1 class. They're going to be from 1 class. Because there will be from 2, from 3, from 4. So those teachers who are now handling subjects and lessons in Form 1, majority of them, definitely assist in stabilizing. And therefore, what we did, you do things with priorities. We could not recruit for the 844 when junior class are no teacher at all. And that's what informed. So by the end of the day, we are sure, we know there is shortage. The only thing we do, and we are doing, is ensuring that where there is attrition, where a teacher has left and this kind of a thing, then we replace within the policy of the commission. On the issue of the new teachers, do you know, to me, these teachers are a blessing. If I look at the people who are working for us in the commission, the young people are really assisting us in IT. They are really a blessing to me. To me, I'm not seeing them as a problem. In fact, they are a great blessing to us. And even us who are Gen X, who are 50s and above. Can you imagine when you went to teach in 1991, 92, 93, 94, how the principal saw you that particular time? You are too young and very... I could not understand. So, I think what that's why we have the team-make. But besides the team-make, we need to do also school induction. And we're also calling hands associations. I remember when I was a chairman of ND anyway, we would organize induction for newly appointed deputies. And the old principals or senior principals, like Madam from Alliance, like my brother here, those who have gone through it for many years, they would be the ones to do what? To induct the new. So we require also what I call tailor-made inductions, working with the ministry and also with the Teacher Service Commission, so that we are able to work with these teachers. And that's why we are talking of community of professionals, where even at subject level, whatever the subject teachers can come together and their own teachers can walk through the new teachers, because this is very important. We're also emphasizing, and we are in communication with the universities or the training institutions, really to ensure that they also have a moment to emphasize more on the professional element and working ethics. Quite a number of universities are inviting us now when the BN teachers are going for teaching practice, so that we take the young graduates on what the employer expects. And I'm seeing it working very well. Because even when they come for teaching practice, there is a lot of... That's why you as principals, you have a role to mentor, you have a role to coach the young teachers. I think it's our collective responsibility to do that. Somebody has asked about a term that I think was coined by our social partners. We never delocalized teachers. We only nationalized Kenyans. If you work with the Minister of Interior, if you are county commissioner, you can never work. Or even as you call them ACCs. you can't work in your area. Before the new constitution, when the government was in charge of everything, national government, nurses and cultural officers, and everybody else was working all over. It's only the establishment of counties that has caused people really to work in their own areas. In essence, we are working within the government conversation, the law of the land, and our policies. And many a times, in our when teachers want to be transferred, we request them to apply. However, as a commission, if you go to Article 7, Sub-Article 2, you find our roles. One of them is definitely to register all the teachers. All the teachers. Once we are trained by university, by college, we register, you become now a registered teacher. After we register, once we are given budgetary allocation by the treasury, by the government, we recruit and employ. Once we have recruited you and employed you, we take you where there is work. We take you where there is work. And sometimes, we may move you from this place to another place. Not for anything else, so that we can work together. As much as possible, we listen to various needs of our employees, because we have to listen to them. But I think it's not banned also to work within your area and also outside your area. Some of you will tell you that some of you have worked in other areas, the reception is amazing. Is it, I don't know whether it's a Bible or it's a social statement, that, is it a prophet? A prophet is not accepting that? Yes. Sometimes you find that when you have worked out there, the reception is amazing. Other times there are some complications. But we are working very closely with stakeholders. We are working very closely with social partners and even the teachers' unions and organizations. So that if a teacher, and that's why I said we'll work with you. If a teacher has a challenge, sometimes we evacuate teachers. You saw what happened in one of the schools where people went in a school and they manhandled the hind teacher, isn't it? You heard me say what? You saw me in the TV, isn't it? And immediately, as a commission, not me, the person, we evacuated all our teachers. And when the environment stabilized, in fact, we asked the teachers, do you want to go back? Those who wanted to go back the same school, we took them the same school. Those who wanted to go other schools, we did that. Because we have a responsibility also to protect the interests of our teachers. However, I have said, let us also follow the national government conversation. In the recent promotions, where where salaries really increased from D3 to D4. Sometimes you realize there is what we call, is it a blanket? Yeah. The scale. That you find you might be in D3, but your salary is inside the start of D4. So it is true. Yes. So such a time you may not see salary increment, but what will happen is that once you get the grade, your bad now goes higher. It will not stop at where you are. So that's why some of you have seen not much in terms of sometimes salary increment, but to realize that there is that promotion. Will then grade. Oh, we don't grade now determine the type of school where, yeah, we are waiting to see, and we are working closely with the ministry so that we see how do we work together so that we can know who will do what, where, and when. So allow policies to come out. Why are the teachers banned from entering commission building? Where? No, that's your home. Nobody deny you right to go to your own home. If there are such cases, let us know. Honestly, I don't think Or is it because sometimes you come at the reception, you give your issues? Oh, what happened? You know, if you remember, those who are of yesterday, remember the bazaar. Remember the very bottom. Where in the commission, the commission, actually the corridors were full of. So you find a teacher is standing here when the file is being typed, another one is there. Really, we need to serve you. You don't require to come and stand there the whole day that we are served. And we are following your file from I don't know which room to which room to which room. Otherwise, if you have been banned completely from entering the building, I apologize on behalf of who did it. But it's noted so that I can also cascade it further. So we said we have to cascade. Yes. What happened to those who did not interviews and were? I think those who are who are not who never got the promotion, said it. It's a very valid question. We are only that for D5. D5 were only that for. We are for 7 counties. So even if you say you give one county one, that's why we want regional. Because whatever we do, we are guided by the law. There must be fairness, there must be equity and equality. So first of all, we divided the slots by 8 regions. That every region got 3. That the people within that region, now you have to compete for the 3. So ours is to pray God that we are given more money to promote. We are waiting to see what is coming out of the new generation of finance bill. So that we serve you better. Teachers are taking advantage of TSC wellness. A teacher abscond duty and then they turn up with a referral letter. How? So if you know it, why don't you communicate to us? Because we have done it with goodwill. It's out of goodwill that we are thinking about the wellness of our teachers. But if you have started abusing it, no, I'm not saying these ones. If they started abusing it, then that's a very good feedback. So that, so that proper vetting should be done. Yeah, proper vetting should be done to take care of that. CBA, this is being handled by social partners, the commission and the ministry. Special subject, music, computer, agriculture, French. We are, because we also invited your comments in our new act, reviewed act, which is not yet through. Our prayer is that it goes through. It will be so friendly in terms of giving a TSC number. Because we have noted we are not the only employer. She is an employer, isn't it? Private schools that are offering Monzoris and other people, we have other accreditations outside where somebody has done music and the like. So we have really opened a bank where you can be registered even with one subject. Because you are not the only employer. Remember, those Generation X, there were those who are doing double maths. Bozu. Niyama Bozu. And the like, isn't it? So, and that's why we are saying, as an organization, we have to understand the change. That's why we also understand the change and reviewing our documents to align ourselves with the new curriculum. Because we require teachers in music, in art, and others, isn't it? And chance and limit. It's difficult, it's becoming a challenge. We are also requesting our trainers, university and the like. These are the areas we need to, actually like now you are supposed to be looking, university and other training institutions should be looking at the gaps that are there and train more in those areas. My friends, policies are policies. Why are we saying get somebody with a TSC number? in case anything happens. How? I know. I know. I know. This is in-house discussion. So, what we are saying is that for teachers, let us have those who have TC. Because if there are discipline issues, if there are issues, it will be very difficult to know how to handle this person. And there are so many. It might not be an issue in class. It might be an issue outside.